Good morning, children. Now, in the last class, we had studied about what is breathing, how is breathing done, what is the difference between breathing and respiration. And then also, we studied about our internal human respiratory system, how the working of the respiratory system takes place. Now, we all know that when we respire, we breathe in and breathe out. That is, inhaling and exhaling of gases take place. Now we ought to know how this inhalation and exhalation takes place. For that purpose, we need to study about the mechanism of our breathing. Our body is a machine. It works like a machine. So naturally, whatever work is being done, that is all mechanized. So, when we inhale and exhale, inhaling and exhaling is also a form of mechanization. It's also a form of mechanism. So, today we are going to study about mechanism of breathing. Mechanism of breathing, it involves two processes. First, inspiration, and the second one expiration. Inspiration and expiration, these are two processes of mechanism of breathing. Now, inspiration means to take in. See, whenever you breathe, you first take in air and then we exhale out. Right? So, inhaling and exhaling. These two processes take place in the process of mechanism. Now, whenever inspiration takes place, it takes 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds are required for the air to go in, and it takes just 2 seconds whenever we do expiration for the inhaled air to come out. Means a total of 8 seconds, a total of 5 seconds is required, and this total of 5 seconds we call it as the breathing cycle. That is 3 plus 2. That goes to 5 seconds. Means within 5 seconds, one full mechanism of breathing is over. Inhalation and exhalation. Now, if you calculate it, in 1 minute, we have 60 seconds. If you do simple calculation, in 1 minute, we have 60 seconds. So, in 1 minute, what will be the number of cycles? In 1 minute, what will the number of cycles? How many times we are going to breathe in and how many times we are going to breathe out? That will be 60 by 5. That is 12. 12 cycles per minute. 12 cycles per minute. So this is known as the breathing rate. This is the breathing rate. Okay. So in 1 minute, 12 times we inhale in and we exhale out. This is the breathing rate. Now let's see. When inspiration takes place, means when we inspire, when we exhale air, then there are certain parts of a body which work for it. Let's see which are the parts of the body that work. The organs that work for inhalation include, the first one is your internal intercostal muscles. Then the rib cage. Then the diaphragm. Then the diaphragm. Thoracic chamber. Thoracic chamber. Okay. So, now you can see with diaphragm, sternum also works for it. Right. Now, this is our sternum. This is our rib cage. Okay? So, now all these that are present inside the rib cage, outside the rib cage, they are our intercostal muscles. So, inside is the internal intercostal muscle, outside the rib cage is the external intercostal muscles. So, and between so many ribs are present. We have floating ribs. Total we have how many pairs of ribs? 2 pairs of floating ribs are there. Okay. Now, so this is the sternum, this is your rib cage. Right. So whenever inhalation takes place, the first is the diaphragm contracts. Contraction of diaphragm takes place. With the contraction of diaphragm is the contraction of the external intercostal muscles. Okay. So, during the process of respiration, the mechanism that takes place is contraction of diaphragm and external intercostal muscles. Diaphragm is present below our lungs. So, when the lungs expand, diaphragm contracts. Then, air goes inside. When we inhale, then the air goes inside our lungs. So, there is an increase in the volume of the thoracic chamber. There is an increase in the volume of thoracic chamber. Okay. Now, air has gone inside. When air was not inside, the lungs were contracted. As soon as air goes inside, the lungs expand. The lungs expand. Now, the air has gone inside, the lung has expanded. So, as soon as air goes inside, the pressure that is present inside the lungs, that becomes less as compared to the pressure that is outside, means in the atmosphere. So, as soon as the pressure becomes less in the lungs, the air rushes out into the lungs from the atmosphere. Now, why the air rushes out? Because the air inside the lungs become less as compared to air outside the lungs. So, air rushes out into the atmosphere.